Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. If you're listening on Spotify, you can support the podcast through listener support. Plus, check out exclusive show-related content and join the community at patreon.com/Animal Stories for Kids. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was an ant named Evelyn. Evelyn the ant was a very kind ant, and she was always willing to lend a helping hand to her fellow ants. Some days, Evelyn would be walking around other ants, and if they ever needed help, Evelyn would stop what she was doing and go help, even if it meant she would be a little late for finishing her own work. Evelyn the ant was just a really kind ant. One day, Evelyn the ant was helping to bring food up and down the whole ant farm when she saw the queen ant looking very sad. So Evelyn stopped her work and walked over to the queen ant. Usually the worker ants don't ever bother the queen because she has a very important job of laying eggs and can't be bothered. So Evelyn cautiously and respectfully walked up to the queen. The queen ant saw Evelyn and sighed and said, "I'm so tired. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up." Evelyn the ant said, "What's wrong, Queen Ant?" The queen was surprised. No one ever saw her sad. And most of the time, other ants never even talked to her. So the queen was confused on how to respond, but she noticed that Evelyn the ant was not like the other ants. Evelyn was curious and looked as if she genuinely was concerned about the queen. And so the queen felt safe to share. The queen said, "I'm just feeling overwhelmed. There's so much to do, and I feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm always stuck down here in the dirt, laying our precious eggs, and everyone is always so helpful. But I feel like I'm not laying eggs fast enough. You all work so hard, and I want to also work as hard as the rest of the ants." Evelyn the ant said, "Don't worry, Queen Ant. You're doing a great job. Your job is probably the hardest. You're always laying eggs for the whole colony to grow, and us worker ants love making sure you're well fed and comfortable. Please don't look at us worker ants and try to do the same. We're here for you. We all appreciate everything you do for us." The queen ant said, "Thank you, Evelyn. That means a lot to me. It really does. I know you all are digging as much as you all can to make room for the new baby ants. And I've been eating very well thanks to all of you. No complaints. It's just sometimes I see all of you working so hard, and I feel I'm not working as hard as all of you. I want to be part of the whole team and work together too. But with all of you always on the move and me just staying here laying eggs, I feel alone at times." Evelyn the ant said, "That's right. I never noticed that. We worker ants are always moving, and you're here laying eggs all day. You must be lonely always laying eggs here by yourself, while all of us are working." The queen said, "Yeah, that is kind of how I feel at times. It does get lonely all by myself here." Evelyn the ant said, "This shouldn't be, Queen. We worker ants are very busy making sure you're okay. But if you're not okay, then we really need to figure out what to do so that you can be okay. And if no one else is able to come alongside of you and keep you company and hang out with you, I think I'll just have to step up and help you feel better by hanging out with you and being by you. Would that help you, Queen?" And the queen said, Yes. I didn't know you could just do that, but why not? I'm the queen. Yes, that would help me very much. Thank you." And Evelyn promised the queen that she would work hard to help the queen feel not alone and to keep her company while other ants were working. The next day, Evelyn went to the queen ant's chambers with a surprise. Evelyn knocked on the wall of the queen ant's chambers and said, "I have something for you." And the queen's ant's eyes lit up, and she said in excitement, What is it? Evelyn the ant said, It's a bouquet of flowers. I picked them myself. Evelyn picked some small strawberry flowers from the garden and brought them down to the queen ant. The queen ant said, Oh, Evelyn, they're so beautiful. Thank you so much. Strawberry flowers are my favorite. Evelyn the ant then said, You're welcome. I hope they make you feel better. I was walking past all the flowers in the garden, and when I saw these strawberry flowers, I thought that the queen might like these. I'm so glad you like these flowers. The queen said, Thank you for being so kind to me. They do make me feel better, and you being here with me makes me feel better as well. Evelyn smiled. She was happy to see that the queen ant was feeling better and that the flowers helped. Evelyn the ant said, You're welcome, queen ant. I'm always here for you. Like I said before, I will work hard to help the queen feel not alone and keep her company. The queen then said, You know what, Evelyn? I never noticed that having someone to talk to really helps me not feel alone. Evelyn the ant said to the queen, That is so interesting, because as a worker ant, when we look at you, we think, Wow, the queen ant has everything. She is so lucky to have all these ants working for her. But come to think of it, you're just like the rest of us ants. You just have a different role in the colony. The queen ant said to Evelyn, You're so right. It is nice being the queen and having all the ants feeding me and taking care of me, but it does get lonely at the top. Most of the ants won't even look at me in the eyes. I think they feel I'm too important to look at or even talk to. I get it. They feel like I'm really important and don't want to bother me, but that kind of gets hard too for me. Evelyn said, Gee, that would be hard, being so important that others feel they can't even look at you. To be honest, when I saw you yesterday looking sad, it took me by surprise. For us worker ants, you're the queen and the most important because you keep our colony alive by laying eggs. The queen said, Well, I'm very thankful that you came up to me and kept me company, and these flowers are so pretty, I don't feel so alone anymore. And from that day on, Evelyn was always there to help the queen ant. She would personally bring her food, help her move her new eggs so they wouldn't be so crowded on each other. And most of all, Evelyn the ant would just be there to listen and keep the queen company. The queen ant was so grateful for Evelyn's kindness and support. She knew that she could always count on Evelyn the ant to help her by just being there with her, sometimes not even saying a word, and just hanging out next to the queen. And for Evelyn the ant, she felt great being able to help the queen ant. And even though the queen was so important, and most ants wouldn't dare bother her important job of laying eggs, Evelyn's friendship and care helped the queen feel like she was part of the whole colony and just like one of the other ants. And Evelyn the ant stayed by the queen's side, helping her as much more than just a loyal worker, but now also as a friend. And the ant lived happily ever after. The end. Ants are insects from the family of Formicidae belonging to the order of Hymenoptera. They're easily identified by their antennae and their node-like structure that forms a small waist. There are more than 12,000 types of ants all around the world, and ants can lift 20 times their own body weight, which is incredible. Ant colonies are run by a single queen ant who controls all the other ants. Some queen ants can live for many years and can have millions of babies. There are 3 kinds of ants inside of a colony: the queen, the workers, which are females, and the males. The queen and the males have wings, and the workers do not. And the queen is the only ant that can lay eggs. Once the queen is old enough to lay eggs, she will then spend the rest of her life laying eggs. Some worker ants are soldiers, and they protect the colony, and they gather food and fight other colonies for food resources and space. Ants don't hear with ears. They feel the vibrations on the ground through their feet. And ants don't have lungs. Air just enters and leaves through tiny holes all over their body. Ants leave a pheromone trail so other ants know where they've been. And ants also communicate through scent and touch and motion. Ants have 2 stomachs. One is for holding food for their own body, and another is to hold food to be shared with other ants. When ants share food with other ants from this second stomach, it's called trophallaxis, and it allows other ants to help the whole colony continue to work by helping other ants who need to eat. Ants can be found on every continent except for Antarctica. Have you ever seen a real-life ant before? If you have, where did you see it? If you want to write to us, ask your parent to email us at animalstoriesforkids@gmail.com and tell us what you think of our stories. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. If you're listening on Spotify, you can support the podcast through listener support. Plus, check out exclusive show-related content and join the community at patreon.com/animalstoriesforkids. Until next time, bye!